Hey there, everyone. I know that we're kind of in a little bit of a lull when it comes to heroes and stuff like that. So I thought now might be as good a time as any to do kind of just an update-ish kind of video. I try and do one or two, maybe three a year, just to keep you guys in the know of what's going on and all that. And I figured now's as good a time as any, so we might as well, since we've got some stuff that's still kind of waiting to happen in Dragalia and Fae and, Three Houses. That game's got a lifeline that will not end anytime soon. So if I kind of look off to the screen, I have some notes up, just so I don't miss anything. But it's been like a week since I've had a video out, and I thought, well, now's a good time to talk to you guys. Because I don't often get a chance to have, like, a connection with you guys where we just, like, talk about stuff, and I let you know what's going on. So here it is. First of all, thank you so much for all of the engagement that you guys have shown the channel lately. We just cleared, I think, 3,200 subscribers over here, which is awesome. You guys commenting or leaving a like or just, watching the videos in general, that is so very appreciated. Like, I don't really know. I don't know. Like, my job is, well, not my job. My passion, I guess, is to share what I want to play with the internet, and the fact that you guys would keep coming back is honestly pretty darn cool. So thank you. Thank you for watching my mediocre stuff. I appreciate it. But yeah, I didn't think initially at the beginning of the year, like I said, my realistic goal was 4,000 subs by the end of the year. So essentially doubling in that time. But my secret goal was like 5,000. And I don't know if 5,000 is still obtainable. But 4,500 might be on the block. So just thank you guys for the engagement. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. All of that stuff. It is very appreciated. Also merch, which I'm actually wearing one right now. You can't tell because the back is where the print is, but I'm wearing a Blue Lions hoodie. Don't tell 80. She doesn't need to know that I have defected. Yeah, no, the merch has gone really well. We've sold a lot of it for something that's so simple. But I think maybe that's one of the benefits. Who knows? That could be the secret perk behind it. I am going to try and do maybe 2 more collections by the end of the year. I normally do a seasonal, so a fall, spring, winter, summer. But I might try and do like 8 a year moving forward. There's also going to be a special project that I do that's kind of merch related, but it's more of a crowd-funded thing, so it's not through TeePublic, which you can check out in the description. There's a link for that. But this is something that's going to take a little bit more time to kind of throw together. It is going to be crowd-funded. I'm not sure what platform we're going to use yet, but I'm trying to maybe launch that late fall, early winter. So keep an eye out for that. It is Three Houses themed, by the way, if you were wondering what it had to deal with. But it's kind of a cool concept of something that I tried to do a really, really long time ago, but kind of merged with Three Houses. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So keep an eye out for that. And like I said, probably fall, winter-ish, it will come along. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with the merch. I guess just to start, I've taken kind of like a mental health break from streaming for the most part. If you were savvy to, or showed up to, or just generally knew about it, we just finished the Fire Emblem series stream that we did over on Twitch. I started in February, streamed a playthrough of every Fire Emblem game that was localized, because I have those. And I invested in like a GBA tack on to the Nintendo GameCube. Like it was a whole thing. Like this was a setup, friends. This was a setup. It was an endeavor, but I think it turned out really well. I was really happy to do it, but that constant grind on top of working 40 hours on top of all the other content that I was normally doing, it just kind of got to me, man. And I actually put the podcast on hiatus for the time being, just because that extra step of taking 10 to 20 hours a month to write, record, edit, publish, all that stuff. It was just a lot. So I've tried to dial that back a little bit. I've had about a month off now, which is nice. I have missed streaming, but it was nice to kind of just take a step back, get out, go to some events, which I'll talk about those in a little bit, and just kind of enjoy Three Houses for the first time, which I know that some of you guys made comments about how you were kind of bummed out that you didn't get to see my initial reaction, or my blind reaction to Three Houses. Because I was, for the most part, after E3, I tapped out. I didn't pay attention to anything Three Houses related, whether it was combat system or, time skip glow-ups or anything like that. I did not pay attention because I wanted to just kind of experience it. But that said, streams will be returning. I'm probably going to focus mostly on Heroes multi-map runs, summoning, event grinding, and it's mostly going to be in Fire Emblem Heroes and Dragalia Lost. I'm going to do a little bit more of Dragalia Lost, not a lot, just because I find that game to be a little more do it when you can, rather than make time for it, if that correlates at all. I legitimately have to sit down and set time aside for some of the maps in Heroes, just because you have to team build specifically for them, especially with the multi-maps. Legendary Tiki can't carry us everywhere, unfortunately. But Dragalia is just kind of it's very fast-paced in the know. At least FEH is a little more turn-based, so it's a little more stream-friendly in my opinion. But we will do a little bit of Dragalia Lost, not a lot, but some. Heroes is still the primary focus on the channel. So we'll do a little bit more of that moving forward. Those streams will probably start back up on the weekends, early September, I think. I've kind of gotten acclimated to my new job again, because I got a job in April and then I left that after 2 months or so, and then I got another job, and now I'm more acclimated in that, much better off, in a much better place. So gonna try and get back into that early September. And we may also start up YouTube memberships, and I put out feelers to you guys in the community tab, because that's always very important. I don't ever want to start something that you guys are not supportive of, because this is a two-part system, right? So I make the content and you guys engage with it, however you choose. And because of that, it's not a complete 50-50 relationship, but you do have some say in the channel, essentially, and so I want you guys to feel included in some of the bigger decisions, and obviously memberships. Even though it's completely voluntary, nothing would change whether you weren't a member or you were. I know that it has a stigma attached to it. But for what it's worth, I think the membership program on YouTube, it's kind of a nice blend between Twitch subscriber and Patreon pledge. It's a nice marrying of the two. So I have looked into that. I've got a couple ideas going around. Aside from some other perks, maybe do a monthly community-driven video where you guys can give me topics for a top 10 or and ask me anything, or even if we do a video where we review submitted builds for Heroes from you guys. Something like that to kind of focus more on community rather than just game content, if that's something you guys are into. It's really, it's on the back burner. It's not priority at this point. But it is kind of something that I want to be thinking about because I've had a very love-hate relationship with Twitch for the last year and a half or so. This will come as no surprise to anyone. But I think I'm going to be doing primarily streaming over here on YouTube now instead of Twitch. Like I said, I've been thinking about making the move for a while now. It just feels like now is the time to do that. I'm not a fan of how Twitch handles a lot of their bigger partnerships. It's pretty hard to grow on the platform if you're not playing something like Fortnite. And even then, it's kind of a case of, well, you just get lost in the sub feed. So, you know, it's a very stagnant platform right now. And I want to be where you guys are rather than sacrifice, or rather than try and grow on multiple platforms at the same time, if that makes sense. I'd rather go where it's convenient for you guys to watch. And based on some of the test streams that I've done on YouTube, the turnout is not even close by comparison to what happens on Twitch. So I think for the most part, we're going to be doing most of the streams over here on YouTube. Anything that's not like Dragalia, Fire Emblem, we will probably still do like on Twitch, or maybe I'll like test out Mixer or something like that. But as far as the content that goes up on the channel, that will also basically be live streamed over here as well if I do that. So that's just kind of where we're at. And speaking of other platforms, I've also been kind of looking at expanding into stuff like Instagram and Amino. So if you guys have any comments or thoughts on those particular ones, my Instagram is basically going to become a Cypher card a day Instagram because I love Cypher so much. I have no idea how to play it. I really like the art. Which I think I have also fixed opening videos as well. If that was something you enjoyed, but you were like, the camera angle's kind of weird, I think I've figured out how to fix that. And a different setup, rather. So look forward to that, because I think the next set comes out in September, I want to say. But anyway, that's just some of the stuff that I've been thinking about. Charity streams. Streaming is important. Charity stream will be planned for the fall. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between October and November, so if you guys have any input or thoughts on those particular months, you can feel free to leave your thoughts down there. What I want to do is a live stream event that's based around mental health awareness, support type stuff, and it's going to be a 3 houses playthrough, so a route playthrough that is primarily chat driven. So you guys can basically help shape the path of the playthrough, which is really cool, because 3 Houses kind of prides itself on the fact that, you know, every decision you make changes a little bit of the story, which is neat, and I like that. So I think we'll do that, especially since I didn't do an LP of Fire Emblem. This is the first Fire Emblem game we've had in a long time. It's the first one on console that we've had in like 10 years. And I didn't do a Let's Play. No regrets, because Let's Plays never do well for me. But I thought maybe this was like a nice happy medium. Everybody's had a chance to kind of get used to the game and experience it for themselves, and then we can kind of like come together and enjoy it together while doing kick-ass stuff for charity, which is kind of cool. I'll try and have details out on that in September. That's what I'm shooting for, so that we at least have like 4 weeks to like let everybody know that this is happening. And again, I gotta get information on charities and stuff like that. So just kind of keep an eye out, be thinking about that, and let me know if one month over the other works better. I have a work trip that I have to do in October, which kind of screws up the weekend thing, because this is going to be like a 4-week-ish thing that we do, just on the weekends. So it's not going to be a one-day event. You can't get through an entire route in one day. I'm pretty sure it's impossible. I think it's impossible. Anyway, so that's what we'll be doing with that. I also want to do like a community online campaign thing for Choose Your Legends 4. Nothing really like pertinent, like it's not immediate, but just be thinking in the back of your head of like a meme pick or a pick that you're like an underdog pick, if you will, of a unit that you're kind of down with, that you would like to see make it in Choose Your Legends 4. Even though it's probably going to be all 3 houses. It's probably going to be nothing but 3 houses units. Rightfully so. All those characters are just so bomb. But yeah, be thinking about that too, because I want to maybe start that in like November. Campaign hard for a couple months and then give it the best we got. I'm excited to see what kind of comments we get on Choose Your Legends 4 units that you guys want to see. And then I guess the final wrap up is just kind of like events. I have gone to 3 in-person events, 2 of which were slightly more similar than the third. I went to GalaxyCon, which is in my home city of Richmond. Well, now I was originally from Ohio, but that's a long time ago. And then I also went to Otakon, which was in Washington, D.C., and Pokemon Worlds, which was also in D.C. Same venue, actually, like literally 3 weeks later. I really enjoyed it. If you guys have thoughts or suggestions or comments about events I should try and go to that's on the East Coast, anything that's weeb friendly, anything that's game friendly, anything with an artist alley, I am pretty much down with. Be sure to leave your suggestions because I want to go to more. Jen and I are actually planning a trip. We're going to the Mecca, as it were, the Nintendo World Store. We're going to try and go in November, I think, is the plan, or like really early December, one of those two. Basically cold enough to die is when we're going. So that's kind of the plan. But I want to get like one last trip in before the end of the year, and I think it's going to be that. I really enjoyed GalaxyCon. Like, that was pretty fun. Got to sit on a panel that had a lot of great people, including Alexis Tipton, who has done a couple Fire Emblem voices, if you didn't know. Got her autograph. That was pretty sweet. And it's back there, actually. You probably can't see it. Anyway, I want to sit in more on panel. My goal is to actually be on a panel for something. I don't know what it is, but it's a goal of mine. Otakon was amazing. I got to spend some time with Jenna and Ahmad that I've had for a very long time, Amazes. That was good times. We all went up there. Artist Alley, the Psy Games store was just insane. But it was good times, man. It was really good times. I really enjoyed it. I'm not like a con goer either. I don't like large groups of people. I get anxiety really easy in those situations. I fought off several panic attacks during all of it, but still kept going no matter what, and paid money to do so. So I was very proud of myself. It was like personal growth. I'm quite pleased with the outcome on that. But yeah, it was good stuff. I want to do more of that more general stuff, because before this, I'd really only gone to like Pokemon events, because I was competing and more involved in the community, which that's a whole nother topic. But I will briefly say, just taking a step back from the online Pokemon community has done wonders for me. And it's not necessarily because like the community is angsty or toxic or whatever. I had this kind of realization when we were in Pokemon Worlds. I met with my friend Kevin up there. Jen and I went up. And I was just like, I'm back in this environment where I tried to make Pokemon content for so long. And, I really threw a lot of myself into it, similar to how I approach Fire Emblem stuff now, except it's obviously much more well received. I just feel like a failure anytime I'm around it, and I don't know, like it's just not as good for me as it was. I think if I'm going to enjoy Pokemon stuff from here on out, it will probably just be in secrecy and silence. I'm not going to talk about it or engage with it. I've met a lot of great people within that community, and I'm very grateful to know them and be friends with them, and be able to spend time with them when I can. But just the content itself, I just don't know. I feel like such a failure, and I get into such a bad mental place when I think about it. And it kind of took, because I had not really thought about Pokemon for a solid year, and then going to Worlds and being back in that environment again, it just kind of made me realize, like, wow, I hate myself right now, because I'm just reminded of all the things that didn't work out. But I guess, that is what it is. I'll enjoy it. Sword and Shield look fun. Like, I'm excited for that. I did demo Pokemon Masters, by the way. Speaking of gachas, I know that I have a lot of friends and acquaintances who are like, Pokemon Masters is going to be amazing. I played it, and it was just like another basic kind of gacha type game, which the demo was very, very rudimentary. Like, it was very basic. But I also know that these people who are super psyched about it, A, get psyched by Pokemon stuff very easily, and B, have not played other gacha games. So I'm not really sure what they're in for. But if they're expecting something else, I will genuinely feel kind of bad for them. Either way, Pokemon Masters seems fun. Worlds was good. Otacon was good. Everything was great. Merch is amazing. I love Artist Alley so much. I love supporting other artists, by the way. That's another thing. Anyway, that was the whole thing. Case in point, TLDR, I want to go to more events. So if you have any event suggestions, please do let me know. I want to try and go to some more. And maybe meet up with people as well. I'd love to meet some of you guys if I possibly can. Yeah, that's that. So I guess that's pretty much it for now, for the most part. There's a couple events coming up towards the end of the year here. A couple of online things that we can do. So be on the lookout for that, because those are kind of starting to ramp up. I do have some unboxing things coming up, if you're interested. I managed to get my hands on a Europe edition of the Seasons of Warfare for 3 houses. And the comparison between the two, I'm going to do a video on. I ran a brief Twitter poll to see what people thought. So we're going to do a comparison of that. And then I ordered a little something special from Ami Ami that I'm going to try and do a video on. But we'll see about that. And then, Legendary Heroes coming up. Lots of Dragalia. Dragalia Lost is having its 1-year anniversary. I wish they would roll it out to more countries. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good things are coming up. I'm very psyched. I'm very excited. That's it. This video is way too long, and I am so sorry. I didn't mean for this to go past like 15 minutes, but it absolutely did. But that's everything that you need to know so far, I guess. Podcasts are still kind of on hiatus, I guess, for the most part, if you cared about that or wanted to know more about those, I guess. We'll see how I'm feeling about those come winter. But yeah, a lot of good videos coming up, a lot of good ideas, a lot of fun projects in the making. So stay tuned, and thank you. Seriously, thank you again. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your continued support. But that's it for now. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.